Yes, sir. Ambassador Plays back in the building. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Not just well, but swell. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Look, y'all, today we're gonna be being real. You know, I really don't know how else to put it. So before we get into it, go ahead and if you're immature, click off the video. Now, for my grown folks that actually want to sit here and listen to something that's not going to rot their brain from the perspective of a man in this world with a family and responsibilities, while also keeping things authentic, then stick around. If that's you, I have a feeling you're going to enjoy this video. You'll be able to relate with what I'm talking about. And more importantly, you'll be able to give your input, which is what I ask you to do in the comment section after you listen to the entire video. So again, if you're immature and you can't handle a real conversation and you're just one of those, you know, Timmy Turners on Sparking Zero or wherever you are, then this is probably not the video for you, buddy. All right. So what we're going to be doing is giving our 2 cents to this. All right. Now I was watching this earlier today, and we're just gonna look at a bit of this, right? Here we go. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick summary. This is a video from Don Coolio Walks, and he was doing a reaction to somebody crashing out and just saying all kinds of off the chart, crazy, negative, and just nasty things over losing in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So we're not gonna watch a lot of this video whatsoever. If you guys want to watch the video, this is the channel right here. Make sure you go click on my boy's channel and show love and support. So let's look at this message right here, okay? Hold on, let me make sure that that my desktop audio is on. Yeah, there we go. My desktop audio is on now. Let's take a look at this.
The time out of their day to go to Google Translate. They took the time out of their day to go to Google Translate and put this up here. Hold on, let me make sure y'all can see it correctly. And put this right here. So the dude put his, he put his language up here. The message he sent is this right. He said, "F your mother, you dirty whore, you son of a b. You're failing with your shitty connection. You're a son of a B country. Crazy. You've killed the game. You've ruined the game with your dirty American son of a B connection."
Okay, so there's that. And also, I'm a family friendly channel. This is not one of those videos, okay? I do apologize because I just showed all those words on the screen. Now we're gonna go to another message that he sent. Here's another one, and I guess he sent him. I'll read it. "You're a little son of a B word. Your connection test is worthless. All the French and Europeans in general complain about your connection in the United States. You run a country full of sons of B words. You've killed the game. It's because of you that nobody plays anymore." Mind you guys, this is all based off of losing in a video game. Losing in a video game. Okay? Here's some more screenshots. I think there's one more. "I'm effing your mother right now. You're going to have a new little brother, you son of a B word." All over a video game. The same guy, by the way. And so that's that. Now, I'm going to put some Sparking Zero gameplay on the screen, and I'm going to talk to you guys for a second. And this is where it gets real. All right? There comes a point, guys. There comes a point where this has to be treated. Actually, I'm not going to do Sparking Zero gameplay. Y'all, this video will either do well or it'll do terrible. I don't care too much. Let's just keep it 100% authentic and open up the game. We'll just play on the laptop while I talk to you guys. Now, because you guys are going to have to put on your listening ears and really see where I'm coming from on this video, which I don't think it will take too much to see where I'm coming from. So without further ado, let's actually get into it. Okay, so here's my problem with this. This is too accepted. in the gaming culture, in the gaming community, talking crazy like this is too accepted. Now, I'm gonna be as fair and as balanced and as neutral as I possibly can, but at the same time, I'm not, because there comes a point where you have to call it unacceptable. Why do we allow a game to have this much control over our emotions? Why do we allow a game to get us this irritated that we genuinely are saying harmful things, like low down things to another human being made in the image of God, because we lost over a game? Now, this is coming from somebody that grew up playing sports their entire life. I first ran track. I was gifted by God. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what my history is, in life. And then around 8th grade, I started playing basketball, and I played basketball all throughout high school. Okay. And to this day, I keep myself in solid shape, and I play sports and this, that, and the third. Now, I'm a competitive. I believe in talking trash. There's nothing wrong with talking trash, but there's talking trash, and then there's just defiling somebody's name. There's talking trash, and then there's just like completely just soiling everything. And that's what we just witnessed. There's enough of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's enough of that in the world. It literally does not help anything or anyone to be doing that. Can I go deeper? This might seem like a small issue, but I believe it's not a small issue. I think that there's anger in that person's heart, and this is not the only time where it spews out. I think that in this case, because Don is a content creator, whoever those messages were sent to was able to relay those messages to Don, and he was able to put it on the internet for you guys to see. But there's something in this that I don't want you to miss. Anger does not solve any problems whatsoever. Not a single problem has anger ever solved, in my opinion. I don't think so. And it's like, okay, you get angry. It's not a problem to be angry. It's not a problem to feel anger. It's what you do with that anger. Anger is what keeps people in cycles of violence in the street. Anger is what has marriages ending in divorces because one of the spouses was abusive to the other. Anger is what keeps you so resentful, keeps you having so much resentment inside of your heart that you can never forgive somebody, and not forgiving somebody is like drinking poison hoping that the other person dies. Okay, so that's not what we need. Y'all can call it soft. Y'all might disagree. Y'all might not have thought this is the kind of video this was going to be. Rhyming accidentally. There we go. I'm still Ambassador Plays, But we need more love. Am I tripping? No, I'm not. I don't even need you to answer that question. I know I'm not tripping. We need more love in the world, bro. What does this solve? Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all a quick story. So I was on YouTube and I seen this video about this young man involved in the streets. Now, as we know, lots of people have different experiences in life, and being a part of gangs, being a part of the street life is just a part of it for some people. Okay, there was a young man that was involved in the street life, and he would always be involved with the wrong crowd. He will roll around with a piece. For those of you guys who don't know what a piece means, a blicky, it's a gun. It's a firearm, okay? That's what a piece is, specifically like a pistol, all right? He would always be rolling around with a piece, but he was a minor, okay? You're not supposed to have that as a minor. You're also, depending on the state that you're in, you're supposed to have a license to carry. Obviously, he didn't have any of those, considering the fact that it's in the hood. A lot of people have illegal possessions. I think that goes without saying. AP, where are you going with this story? Well, where I'm going is one time, an older gentleman seen this younger underage dude with a piece around all the wrong crowds, and he pulled him to the side. He said, hey man, you keep going down that road, you're gonna take a trip down life that you do not want to go into. This is not good for you. You're hanging around the wrong folks, right? These people believed in getting their get back. If something was wrong, if somebody did them wrong, they're gonna get their get back. They're gonna spin the block. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. They're not gonna let that slide because they're not no punk. They're not no B word. This is the kind of mentality that people are stuck in. You do me wrong, I feel wronged or slighted in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to make sure I do this to you. Fill in the blank. So the older gentleman went to the younger gentleman. He told him, hey, you need to put this down. This is going to ruin your life. The younger gentleman didn't listen to him. He kind of shrugged him off and kept going on about his day. Later on, the older gentleman found the younger gentleman again with the piece, with the firearm, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and he told him to go get rid of it. The younger gentleman went away pretending to get rid of it, and then he came back. The older gentleman lifted up the side of his shirt, and he seen the piece tucked into the side of his shirt between his pants, and he took it from him. He walked him by the riverside, and then he threw the piece into the ocean. Not the ocean, but the body of water. You get what I'm trying to say. He threw the piece into the ocean, and he said, listen, you want to shoot so bad, I got something else for you to shoot. But it's not going to be out of anger, and it's not going to be in violence. He gave him a camera. Right? The dude turned his life around and now takes some of the most amazing pictures you've ever seen. And he takes the bad habit that he developed from firing that firearm so often to firing pictures. Every time he shoots his camera, it's like he's shooting his firearm, except this one isn't bringing destruction or harm to anybody. This one isn't rooted in violence and damage and torture and pain. Like, the world needs more love. I know that y'all are seeing all the crazy things going on in the world because my audience is grown. My audience are not little children, okay? My audience are grown people. You guys can understand this, and I hope you actually take the time to listen to what I'm saying because, yeah, it might be Dragon Ball Z in the background, but it's a real ninja speaking right now to a lot of real people watching the video right now. Can I encourage us? Can I encourage us to be better than this? And let me say, I have my shortcomings for sure. AP loves Jesus. He talk about God all the time. Yeah, sure do. And if you don't like it, unsubscribe. I'm tired of saying it. Goodbye. I'm not changing. You already know that. If you're still watching, you already know that. But I'll be the first person to tell you that there are sometimes I curse. There are sometimes I say things that I shouldn't say. But these things still apply to me. Can I just encourage us to be better than this, bro? Let me tell you, there's times in Spark and Zero where people have beat me and said some crazy things. There have been times where I responded back with the, not so kind things. I'll put it that way. But in the times where I take the high road, in the times where I act like a mature and responsible adult, in the times where I just ask the person questions to make them think as to why they're insulting me over a video game in the first place, those are the times where you actually notice character development and change, depending on who it is. There are going to be a couple different types of people. One person will respond to those questions with more insult. Another person will respond to those questions by not responding to you at all. They'll just give up because they didn't think you were actually going to go that route and they think you're being too serious. The third kind of person will actually self-reflect and might come back and apologize because they realize what they were doing was not only destructive to themselves, but the person that they're doing it towards. But I would argue it's more destructive to the person spewing out the poison than the person receiving the poison. Both can be equally destructive, but I argue it's even more destructive from the person speaking it, because the Bible says out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So before you ever say anything negative, like the guy that we just reviewed in this video, that was festering up in his heart. You think Spark and Zero is the only place where that comes out? No, that probably comes out in his home life. That probably comes out in his relationship with his friends. Guys, do you think anybody wants a long-term friend like that? Does anybody have a friend, or has anybody ever had any kind of interaction or a relationship with somebody who was always just ready to crash out at the drop of a dime? People don't enjoy being around that because it's not good. I'm not gonna sit here and keep yapping, but I just wanted to let y'all know that we need love and not this nonsense. And so I want to encourage you guys, whenever somebody slights you, whenever somebody says something disrespectful to you, number one, that person doesn't know you, so why do you care about what they say? Think about it. That person doesn't know you, so why do you care about what they say? Number two, use that as an example to show somebody else how a real man handles his business. Because me as a man, I'm not gonna stoop down to your level. I'm gonna show you how you should carry yourself, and hopefully they learn something from you. Last thing I'm gonna say is I was at work today, and I had a conversation with an older gentleman who's lived more life than everybody watching this video. He was in his late 70s. And do you know what he said to me? I said, "Sir, how you doing?" He said, "Great." I said, "Sir, where are you on your way to?" He said, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to go pick up this plane and bring it back home." I said, "Oh, so sir, you're a pilot?" He said, "Nah, I'm retired, but I use my skills and my licenses to do stuff like this now." He said, then I said, "Okay, sir, that's amazing. How long you been a pilot?" He said, "X amount of years." I said, "Well, what do you do now?" He said, "You know what? I just try to make the most out of life by being happy and loving people." Everybody knows you're supposed to respect your elders, and when older people speak, you should listen because you can learn a thing or two. I said, "Sir, why you say that?" Well, he said, and this is a true story. I'm not making this one up. I didn't make the last one up either. That's a YouTube video I saw, but that's a YouTube video I saw. But what I'm telling you right now, this is a true story that occurred today. And so I said, "Sir, can you explain?" He said, "Well, I've been married." I said, "How long you been married?" He said, 54 years. I said, "Wow." I said, "What's the key?" He said, always apologize and love each other. He said, that's the biggest challenge, is to love your neighbor like you love yourself. Is he wrong? No. The messages that we just looked at, nobody likes losing in Sparking Zero. Everybody hates losing. I don't know a single person who loses and says, ha, finally, I lost again. Yes. I don't know anybody like that. I don't think they exist. And if they do, wow. So nobody likes losing. The biggest challenge is to respond out of love. The biggest challenge is to love somebody when they've done very hateful and mean and wicked, evil things towards you. But what is the result of that love? Joy, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. Think about it, man. Let's stop the nonsense and let's be better. All right? That's it. We didn't actually get to play any matches. But let's think about this, man, because this is not a Sparking Zero problem. This extends far beyond Sparking Zero. This is a problem with humanity. It's a problem with humanity, but I need everybody watching this video to know you don't have to fit into this problem. You do not have to add fuel to the fire to this problem, because a person will never forget how you made them feel. You can allow them to never forget how you made them feel by treating them with hate and violence, or allow them to never forget how you made them feel by treating them with love, even if they didn't deserve it. I'm gone.